So let's talk about the law of assumption in always a realistic way, a realistic matter of fact. Let's cut the BS. Why isn't this working for you? Why hasn't your SP shown up yet in the way that you desire? They're not conforming. You're not in that loving relationship yet. Why haven't you got that health that you so crave? Why haven't you got the money in the bank, the financial security? You're doing all your techniques. You're watching all this content. You're starting to question yourself, question the law, question other people's success stories even. Not everyone is in this boat, I must admit. A lot of you are actually really wonderful, really positive, understand how consciousness creates, and are in a good stage with it. Whether or not you've achieved your end result for your current desire, you all know that you have had successes, you have manifested wonderful things. But what if you're in that opposite mindset? So what if you've just got these niggling questions in the way? Why isn't it working? Why isn't there any movement or BBL, your Brazilian butt lifts or anything? Why isn't any of this happening? Brazilian butt lifts. BBL, I know. It's birds before land, but I can't help it. Anyway, let's discuss it here. Okay, let's just talk about this. So sit back and relax, or maybe you're listening to me whilst you're getting on with your day, whatever. Let's talk. I'm Athena.Raven. I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, here to empower and inspire you on this manifestation journey. So if you're enjoying the content, I'd like to ask you to just take a moment to like and subscribe so we can boost this channel, get it out there to a wider audience who might be struggling with the same things, you know. Let's build a community of love and support as well. And I love how each and every one of you have been supporting each other for your success stories, in the comment section with your questions. You are incredible. We are going to get that community up and running, that Discord. It's nearly there. Joe and I are going to set one up where we've got our one together and one with different rooms, and it's going to be fun. Okay, so that's in the making as well. There's some exciting things to look forward to, so keep tuned, keep posted with us, and we're going to take you on the road to success, because it's inevitable, because this law is consistently and constantly working for you. The law of assumption, just like the law of gravity, just like the law of oneness, just like any of these universal laws, it is constantly working, whether you believe in it or not, whether you see it or not. And I'm going to demonstrate it for you. You see, for those of us who are on this journey, who believe that we have to keep on doing techniques to get a certain result, it's like me feeling like I just have to, I don't know, keep doing techniques to keep myself grounded, to keep gravity working for me. But gravity it's always there. It's always working. It just is. The law of assumption is based on my state of consciousness, who I state that I am, who I believe myself to be. My world will be. It just is. It just is what it is. So for those of you who are finding or stating even that it's not working, that there's no movement, well, congratulations. The law is working for you perfectly, because you are in the state of it's not working, there's no movement. Remember how we said this? Our confirmation bias is going to filter out every bit of information that states that this is working for you, and filter in everything that shows that it's not working, or at least filter in that nothing is happening, nothing's working. But as I always state to people, how do you know? What is the judgment that you're making on your desire right now? What? Because your SP hasn't come back proclaiming their love for you? What? Because you're looking at your bank balance and it's still saying it's empty? Is that what you're using to determine who you are? Your 5 earthly senses? Because if we think about it, everything that was created, it's created from imagination. It started off from imagination, from the clothes you're wearing to the chair I'm sitting on, even to the painting behind me. That was my painting at school. I started off in my imagination before it became birthed into this 3D reality. And so we want to connect more with the imagination, the creative source, because there's nothing to be created here, this dead space in a way. It's not dead space, but you know what I mean. This 3D reality, which is a manifestation always. A manifestation is essentially my projection, my expression, because we're always projecting ourselves on this reality. And so if you're not seeing movement, it's because you're doing something to get something. You've kind of missed the point of this. And I know that many people get stressed and then they go on the warpath, and some people really switch and they create communities of hatred against the law. You can hate on the law of assumption, or the people teaching it, or the laws of gravity, or the laws of what. You can hate on it all you want. but it just is the laws of nature. It just is. And if we work in harmony with it, if we learn about it and utilize it in the right sort of way, we can achieve incredible things. You see it from other people's successes. You are also one of those successes. You're all sitting on successes. I keep saying that to you guys. You're not realizing it. It's not sinking in. I'm seeing it with my clients all the time. I'm just saying to them, I had another client report an incredible success to me yesterday, but because the main success hasn't come in, or SP hasn't come in yet, or that money hasn't come in, you're not deemed a success. What state are you occupying instead? The state of it's not working, the state of I'm in the process of manifesting. Well, what does that mean? If I'm in the process of manifesting something, I'm sticking myself in a process. And if everything is now, my state of I am is what manifests. I am is a present tense exclamation. I am this. I am Athena. I'm not becoming Athena. I'm not in the process of being Athena. I'm not being Delulu to convince myself I am this, or I am a coach, or I am what, it just is. It just is what it is, and I can say that now. Okay, yes, my 3D has expressed this to me, but there was a time when I wasn't a coach. There was a time when I wasn't anything. There was a time when I just didn't have any labels, or I had very different labels. What labels are you attaching to yourself? What labels are you attaching to your external world? We can't have this notion of, yes, that I want money, I want riches. I'm going to imagine that I've got money and riches, and do all these techniques and affirm like a robot, like I'm going crazy, and then keep on looking at the 3D and stating that it's not working, then my current state is not that of I am. And although we just have to occupy that in imagination to help us to step into that state of consciousness, to impress ourselves with it. I mean, I don't have to be consciously aware that I am in abundance all day long and convince myself and go crazy and go delusional about it. I don't have to do any of that. We've established that. Some people enjoy doing that. Some people think that they have to do that. No, you don't. But I also understand how this law works. It makes it easier for me to kind of take a step back. It's like, right, I've imagined everything created from imagination. Everything stems from my imagination. So with that, I can just look at everything around me, know that everything is working in my favor, because it's not always going to make sense. We've discussed that bridge of events. It's always going to make sense. Things happen. It's just like, what the hell is that? Why has that happened? Why does the opposite seem to be happening? See, again, I'm labeling it the opposite. Why am I doing that? If I am stating that I am this, then it doesn't matter. For example, if I'm stating, and these are ridiculous examples, but I'm just doing all this at the top of my head. I don't plan or really edit my videos in any way, so bear with me. But say, people were to come and to say to me, yeah, no, you're not Athena. No, you're not Athena. You're not. It's like, okay, but I state that I am that. So whether or not, the outside world is telling me that I'm not that, or I'm telling myself that, I have that financial abundance, or I have that health, or I have that relationship that I'm after. 3D is going to be saying no, but my imagination states yes. And I'll persist in that yes from my imagination, my creative source, until this 3D world conforms. So it's not about the 3D or what the 3D is telling you at the moment. It's always thinking the bigger picture. It is always working for you. But be conscious of what state you're occupying, because a lot of people are not. You cannot be consciously aware of poverty and wealth at the same time. We can never, even though, a lot of women, we state that we can multitask, and none of us are really multitasking. When we're multitasking, that we're switching. We're still switching from one task to another. We cannot serve two masters, as Neville has stated. We cannot occupy two states at the same time. I cannot be consciously aware of being the person who has financial abundance and the person who is in poverty at the same time. I can't experience both of that at the same time. So where is your most dominant dwelling place? Don't label things as it's not happening, there's no movement, because there's no such thing. How do you know? If you're literally going by your 5 earthly senses, remember, there is a lot of things that your 5 earthly senses cannot pick up. Bacteria, radio waves, radiation. We know this stuff exists. My 5 senses cannot see it or detect it at the moment. Does that mean it's not in existence? It's existing there. You see, just like every state is in existence, every possibility, every outcome, every perception is in existence now. It's just I've not shone a light on it yet. I've not brought it to life. How do I do that? By stepping into it through my imagination. I become consciously aware of that possibility, and I merge with it. I bring that into my consciousness, and I've just I've just received a message. I'm getting my notifications coming in, and that was just a friend of mine who was manifesting health for breast cancer, and I've just seen that she said recovery all done. She's just recovered. She's just had her final surgery. So that again was like a hit and miss. Reality was telling me one thing. Reality was saying that it ran in her family, that she lost her mother and her aunts to breast cancer. It was always aggressive in each stage. It was always very quick. Same with her. She just had this knowing it was going to happen to her because of what happened with her family. Sure enough, it happened. I had this terrible feeling, but it was like when we're going to dismiss this. And I kept on seeing and hearing her telling me this good news. And we weren't sure, but slowly over the months. And I think she told me the news about it end of last year, and so just now she's telling me about this recovery, and I'm sure she's still not 100% out of the woods. I don't have to read the rest of her message, but you see, I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes a lot. She wasn't reporting it to me regularly on a regular basis. She's got family, she's got her children, she's got life to be getting on with. She's not going to be sitting there giving me updates all the time. And I didn't keep on checking in. You know, I was just like, I don't need to check in. I don't need 3D circumstances to tell me what's going on. I don't need 3D reality to determine who I am. And who I am is the person who has a friend right now who is recovering. In my 3D reality, she is recovering. In my imagination, she has already recovered. And so my 3D is just that trajectory to that end result. I don't need to be delusional or crazy or convince myself of it right now in the 3D. It's right now in my imagination. It's right now within me. And everything else is panning out the way that it should. However it's looking, it's panning out in the way that it should. And that's always been the mindset that's helped me out. But if I was there stating there's no movement, it's not happening, I'm not consciously aware of being the person who has that outcome, am I? What am I judging by? That's why I say don't judge by time either. Time, everything, like I say, everything is now, and it's happening for you now, and movement is happening right now, even if you can't see it straight away or feel it or touch it. Like I say, there's lots that your five senses cannot determine. Doesn't mean it is not happening. So don't judge by time and don't judge by your earthly senses. You need to sort of detach from that and remember that it is your imagination that is creating. You cannot serve two masters. Decide who you are, and that's the persistence in that state of being, the persistence in knowing who you are, that brings you your outcome. Test this with all sorts of things. You're going to see how this works. And I know a lot of you are going to say that, okay, the things that I test it with that I have no resistance to, it is fine. But SP or health or like the big things that I'm really desperately wanting, it's not so easy. Again, that's another assumption that I've just created right there. That's not actually the case, right? So what I assume, what I persist in that assumption is going to be my fact, is going to be my truth. Why don't I just persist for fun in the assumption that no matter how big or small I deem my desires to be, no matter how many obstacles I believe I've created for myself, essentially, it's all working out for me. They all happen for me perfectly. I can manifest absolutely everything effortlessly. I just set an intention. I can actually create this assumption for myself and therefore create that experience for myself. So you see, there are ways to work around this stuff. But I really hope this helps you. For those of you who are struggling, who are questioning the law, like I say, test it. It just is. And you're always manifesting. If you're believing that the law doesn't work or there is no law of assumption, well, then guess what? You're going to find evidence to prove that. You believe the world is flat, or you believe it is round, or you believe it is, guess what? You're going to find the evidence to prove that. This is how it is. This is how the confirmation bias works. Your assumptions are your filter in your reality. That's why it's all about self and changing self. You're not trying to change this outside world. And for those of you who are really struggling with this, it's because you're still attached to the outside world. You're allowing the outside world to determine who you are, but you're also trying to change the outside world. We're not looking for that change. The change is within. So I really hope that this helped you out. It's a little bit of our discussion corner. But I'll catch you guys on Friday for more wonderful Wish Fulfilled Friday successes. Thank you for those of you who voted for the next hypnosis as well. It looks like financial abundance is on the card. So that will be the next one that I start working on in these coming weeks. I'm sending you guys loads of love, and I'll catch you in the next video.